The recording has started, so thank you, Jana, for doing this and for organizing and moderating this event today. As coordinator of SYSTOUR, Politecnico di Torino, and in the person of me and Asia, will provide you a general overview of the project. Then you will follow all the aspects that we want to analyze today with the sustainable strategies for tourism in rural area. So I'm very glad to start with this first learning event that will focus on our three main trends that are the sustainability, in general, the mobility, and the digitalization in tourism, especially for rural area. So what I want to reflect with you is about the over-tourism that is threatening in Europe landscape in recent year, that is generating a problem, especially in concentration of tourism flow in the honeypot location in Europe. But our communities, especially the ones in rural area, can have some difficulties, especially when we want to diversify their economies and improve the quality of life of the population and the related to the tourism sector. But what if we could help this community to improve the attractiveness and well-being of places, not only as a destination to visit, but also to live in and to work there. And what if we invest also in that places? So our expectation is very high with that project, and what we want to have with SYSTOUR is develop a sustainable tourism to move visitors towards our rural areas in Europe, highlighting the territorial asset and seeking a balance in the flows of each territory, linking them through three main aspects: the digital connection, the mobility, and the authentic experiences. So that is the general overview of SYSTOUR and the expectation and the goals that we have. Now we want to go in deep with what we have done to reach our goals with the SYSTOUR, and Asia Aulisio will go further on all the activities that we develop in the month of this project that we have done.
Thank you, Silvia. Here we have an overview of a SYSTOUR project that starts in March 2023 and will end in May 2027. So now we have 1 year of working, and we reach 90 stakeholders, more or less, in 6 different regions in Europe, and we work with them. I mean, our regions work with them by build a group with them and having a meeting along a year of work. Of course, we have also interregional learning events, which are this one as today, but we also have some conferences, because we are Politecnico di Torino is a university, and we try to spread out what happened in SYSTOUR project also within our academic conferences. We reach good practices within the region that we involved in the SYSTOUR project, that are 30 good practices, which was visited and then peer-reviewed with our stakeholders and partners of the project, and then evaluated at the end in order to reach this overview and update the Interreg Europe portal in order to spread out our learning during this exchange with them, with all over Europe. But the aspect that we want to highlight as the lead partner of the project is that we run 6 different holistic diagnoses in 6 different regions that are involved in the project. Holistic diagnosis, we start with the regional analysis, and this is called holistic diagnosis because we have this overview with a systemic approach to define the state of the art in these 6 different territories in Europe, addressing and defining the challenges within common method that we use, analyzing data and information, and providing to our partners an overview of their data and information that we are analyzing, with also a geospatial analysis in detail that look at the territory with this as a complex system with problems, but also opportunity to address within the tourism development, a sustainable tourism development. Afterwards, of course, as we mentioned, we run interregional learning event. We can divide our learning event and exchange of experiences in field visits, and of course, session of workshop in order to increase the capacity of our multiple stakeholders to improve policies. Because it is crucial to involve them, as we mentioned at the beginning, to share the local potentialities and innovative approaches that we can share with them. And of course, we have steering committee to discuss the work that we have done and the work that we want to do with all the people. In over a year, we ran 5 out of 6 study visits. The first one was in Hungary, that is one of our partner in SYSTOUR project. The other one was in Italy with Molise region. The first one was in Aldubiar County. And then we ran the one in Molise region in December 2023. Then we have Spain with Lertibay, and today we're going to see some highlights from our stakeholder that we involved within SYSTOUR project in February 2024. Then we have Poland with other good practices that we're going to share with all of you today in May, and then Finland. Also today we're going to see something with you. And after that, in November 2024, we will be in France with in Nouvelle-Aquitaine for the last field visit. All these moments of visit within this region are fundamental to map out the good practices that we have in Europe, share with the other one, and of course share also with all the regions and partners or lead partners that are inside the Interreg Europe platform. And so the work that we have done in map out the good practices and then visit them and with the last phase evaluate them is propedeutic to of course share with European platform, and of course share in our SYSTOUR website in order to see which are the diversity of good practices and which that could be possibility for other regions. So it's also important to learn with each other and share the opportunity that we can rise from the experiences that we have within our region's partner. And all of this is important for us in order to apply this systemic approach in co-designing strategies. So it's not something that is top-down, but we very look at having bottom-up approach to co-design with stakeholders, policymakers, and of course has as lead partner, but we are also academic with an academic background. So it's something that is enriching us, but also enriching all the people that we meet during the way. So enjoy the learning event and look at our experiences within these videos.
One, two, what you gonna do? 3, 4, give me some more. 5, 6, just for kicks. We got a lot going down now up in this mix. We like nothing that you've ever seen.
Okay, so here we are, and thank you for time for introduction of our SYSTOUR project. And now, Jana, I don't know the next presenter if he's already online. We will have all the question and answer at the end.
Yes, thank you so much, Asia. The next presentation is from me. So I am here. I will share my presentation to you now. Just one moment. You should see it now. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So what I'm going to talk with you for maybe 15 minutes is give you like introduction to this topic of sustainability and mobility and digital services in tourism. And because I know to most of you this topic is already quite familiar, what I wanted to do is explain here what we are trying to do in our region with our stakeholders. Probably lots of similarities here. So the benefits and the challenges that we are facing. So this is kind of like in a nutshell kind of presentation. And after that, we hear about the good practices and good solutions. Here is the agenda once again. So after me, we have good practices from Spain, from Finland, from Poland, and also from Italy. We have a small break in between. Before I begin, I want to ask you what comes to mind when you think about responsible travel. So please, with your smartphones, you can scan the QR code. I will also include the link in the chat in case you need it. So please scan the code and you will get to Answer Garden. There you have a small box where you can type in with 1 or 2 or 3 words. So very short answers, and then you press submit. The idea is just whatever comes to mind first when we talk about sustainability in tourism, when we talk about traveling in a responsible way. So what is the first thing that comes to mind? You can scan the QR code, and I will also stop sharing for just one moment in a bit to give you the link in case the code doesn't work. But just let me know if you can get to the Answer Garden page from the code. Is that working? I stop sharing for one moment. So if the QR code doesn't work, you can go to the chat box and click the link. I will share my screen to show you what it looks like. So we are in here. Awesome. We take 1 more minute. You can type in as many answers you like. Think about short answers, one-word answers, and you can type in as many as you like. So we have 1 more minute just to give you a chance to think about the topic. The more answers we get, more of the same answers we get, the bigger the words are. And then when you hit enter again, you will see more of the answers. We will share the recording with you along with the materials, and then you get the answers from here as well. Thank you so much. I go back to the presentation now. So why sustainability? Why we are talking about this and doing projects around sustainability? The aim is not only to manage the negative impacts, but also doing sustainable actions. We can make positive improvements to the environment. So it's not just only cancelling out all the negative stuff, but also increasing positive benefits so we can actually make things happen in our environment and in our culture. Visitors are becoming more and more aware of these things that they actually look for, and they respect green transportation and ways they can compensate for carbon footprint. So there is a growing interest when people are coming that they are actually looking for the sustainable options. Then if you are looking for project funding or had projects that are being funded, the more sustainable your project is, the more points you get in the funding process. And then also when we have the number of people in the planet growing, we have more and more people who are traveling all the time. So there is a large environmental footprint along tourism, and that's why we need to take it into account. So how can we travel in a sustainable way? So these are the things that visitors can do and the visitors will do. They can choose green transportation. We have some good practices about buses and cycling roads instead of flying. Then they can take fewer trips but stay longer. So instead of flying from Helsinki to Paris for a weekend and then coming back on Sunday, people usually like to stay longer. There's also possibilities, you know, when you book the plane tickets, for instance, you can pay a couple of euros more and you can compensate your carbon footprint. So these kind of practices you can take while traveling. Then when in the location, instead of doing something that might be harmful for the environment, you can choose more environment-friendly activities. And you can choose service providers who are committed to responsible practices. I will talk a little bit more about this later, but it's absolutely important that if you have a service provider, that you communicate, that people know that you are doing things in a responsible way. And then there's a trend, live like a local. So instead of going to the big cities that people have been going for 30 or 40 years, people like to take roads less traveled and maybe look for the less known places. And this is why we are in the SYSTOUR project. We are the smallest region in Finland, maybe not as well known as other places, but we have lots of very unique opportunities here as well. So this is the visitors. Chooses then what we can do if we are a company providing services, if we are a stakeholder. We can become more energy efficient and ask people visiting us to do the same. We can recycle and we can practice effective waste management, like for instance, installing low flow taps. And then you do that, and then you put a sign on the wall that says there is a little bit less water coming from the tap because we are trying to be more sustainable. So that is communicating that as well. Then one crucial thing that if not now, then during the next couple of years, if you are a service provider in tourism, you need to know how to count and measure your own carbon footprint. We have presentation about this from Finland. We have very good tools how you can do this, but this is something that you need to be aware of if you are an organization in tourism. They're supporting community relations and human rights, as well as animal rights and health and safety. And most importantly, everything that you do as a service provider needs to be put out there. So people need to know that you are doing these things. And some of these things, sustainable things that service providers do, they don't even think about. Like there might be a law in your country that you need to have wheelchair ramps in the buildings. But even though it is a law, you can still take a picture of that and put it on your website or social media that we welcome all the people, even if you sit in a wheelchair. That creates positive impact and that shows that you are responsible. The challenge is that when we talk about this in our region, most of the service providers, they are entrepreneurs, so they are self-employed or even part-time employed, meaning that they have another job on the side and then they do the tourism. When we talk about these things, they ask me, do you not know how much I do already? And I do know. I know this is a lot. When you are self-employed in tourism, you need to do this and this and this and this and all of these things and measure and communicate and post. So it feels like a lot if you put it like this. So this is what we are doing in SYSTOUR project. We are trying to help our stakeholders and people working in tourism to sort of understand this and do what is appropriate to them. So not everything is possible or even needed if you are a small organizations, but everybody can do something. And what we are doing is we are listing the benefits. So when you are more responsibility, it will create a long-term cost savings. So they are expensive to implement, but then you will start saving money with the low flow taps, for instance. Then there's a reputation thing. This is your unique selling point, USP. It sets you apart from your competitors. You have investment opportunities, and then if you are doing business with European tour operators, they usually only do business with organizations who are proven to be sustainable. There's also positive impact on staff. Then the negative or the challenging factors that we have in sustainability might be lack of resources, resistance to change, especially if it's a larger organization, and then market competition, and lack of government support, lack of environmentally friendly suppliers, and customer perceptions. We have customers who are willing to pay more for sustainable practices. We have visitors who want to compensate their carbon footprint, but not everybody wants to do that. So to sum up the sustainability, travelers are well educated and they look for responsibility. So being sustainable and communicating it, that brings visitors. We have a term greenwashing, which is pretending to or exaggerating your doings. So we avoid doing that. But at the same time, and I think more importantly, the term green hushing means that you do the right things, but you tell nobody. So report proudly your achievements and commitments to your clients and to your community. We have one presentation about the program in Finland, which is here for free to help organizations to take the right steps and steps that are appropriate for them. So you will hear from that program in a bit. Before that, just a few more slides about digital services and mobility to give you introduction. And here is another QR code if you want to scan that. The question is, what digital platforms or services have you used in tourism, either at work or as a traveler? So you can scan the code again and think of any platforms online, if it's social media or if it's a booking service or something else that you have used, and you can type that. This usually the kind of question that gets lots of answers, but this will give a good introduction to the digital services that we are going to talk about today. So just to give you 1 minute, you can type in your answer. You can write in multiple answers, and I will also copy the link for you to the chat box. So there is a link for that. I will go back to the presentation in a bit. And then when you have submitted, you can click enter here on the space bar and it will show you the answers. So we have Booking, Booking.com, Airbnb, Instagram, TikTok, so lots of social media sites. There are two very different opinions about using social media in tourism. I will tell you in a moment. In the meanwhile, thank you so much for your answers here. We go back. Right. So the most important thing we talk about here as well, of course, digital services are very important if the region is less known, but online visibility alone does not equal sales. So here we have scales, and on one side you have social media sites, you can have likes, you can have followers, but on the other side you have people who make purchases, so people who buy something. And this is something that is incredibly important to understand, that it's important to have visibility, to raise awareness and reach travelers, you know, so that they can start planning their journey. But by itself, it is not enough, especially in social media. It is usually by one language and you have one post after another. So it is very difficult for people to actually buy something. And what we need if we want to grow tourism in a region, if we want our region benefits from it, we need to have people who actually buy something and use money. So it is very important that these two things both are important, but the fact that you have good social media sites or TikTok sites by itself is not enough. Here we have some digital landscape. So in the first column on the left, you have visibility, awareness. So this can be social media. This can be your Google profile or other search engines. So if you Google accommodation in Paris, what comes up? Things to do, or these local travel sites, visit Helsinki, for instance. So that's one thing. And the common factor for these things on the left is that it's usually not possible to make the reservation at the same time. The two other columns are for accommodation or online bookings. So even though you have good web page or you have good social media page, you need to be at least in one other platform. At 2 or 3, if you can. The more digital channels you are using, the more likely you are to come up when people search for things to do or places to stay in your region. Then some more text about digitalization and tourism. Tourism is one of the first sectors to actually use digital services when booking accommodation and booking tickets for flights. And it is very, very important that we stay in this digital change, that we are smart destinations. Here in the bottom, there's a question that is very good to share with your stakeholders. Is the organization or the service provider aware of its visibility online and of its digital footprint? So what comes up when you type in your company name? We have had stakeholders in our region. They have like summer cottages on sale, and then when we search them from Google, they actually find out that their cabin is being rented by some page, and they had no idea it was on the page. So it is very, very good to continue every once in a while to check what is your visibility like. And other important note is that Google search history is always your own, and it's based on your previous searches. So you might not be as high up in the results as you think. If you use your own computer, check your own company or your own organization, you might say, oh, I'm pretty high up. Here are all the pages that are needed right on the top 5. But that is your search history. So try to use somebody else's computer maybe next door neighbor or something to actually see what it's like. Your own search history doesn't tell you how good your digital visibility is. Yes, and then last 2 slides about mobility to give an introduction why we are in this project talking about mobility. Mobility is a challenge. It has a major carbon footprint. And visitors look for respect green transportation and ways to compensate for carbon footprint. So people already know this. People already know when they are booking plane tickets that it is not great for the environment. At the same time, having an airport is quite important for region. We are the smallest region in Finland. We have our own airport, and it's absolutely crucial if people are looking for work or thinking about staying here. They want to know what are the possibilities of mobility. So there is a trend of slow travel. Possibilities of public transport, hiking and biking attract visitors. They provide a more sustainable way of traveling, and at the same time, flying doesn't always take us where we want to go. As the number of people who can afford to travel grows, so will tourism environmental footprint. So the challenge I have here, I have 2 pictures. These are quite clear. If you look at them, we have carbon footprint on global tourism, and 49% of everything, of all the carbon footprint, carbon emissions, it's flying. And if you look on the right side, emissions by mode of transport, these are from Sustainable Travel International. There's a link if you want to look at more pictures and more data. But if you look at the picture on the right, you can see that plane is by far the biggest concern when we talk about carbon emissions per passenger per mile. Last slide from me is that people are increasingly interested in green transportation. Also, when you look for good practices in mobility, why we need them is that they are more affordable to build. So if we start up a bike road or a cycling road or a small tourist bus that operates a certain road, it doesn't take that much money to get it going. It's quite easy to operate, and if you need to make changes, you can make changes too quite quickly. If you are running the bus every day and then you realize you have no passengers on Mondays or Thursdays, so you can make changes quite easily. Very, very different from airports. Flying is never the one option that solves everything. We have so many good places that we cannot fly to. And when we have alternative mobility options, they help us with climate control. And today, after this presentation, we will hear about the good practices regarding mobility as well. Thank you. So this was my presentation, sort of like introduction, why we are doing this. And if you have any questions or thoughts or ideas, you can type them in the chat and we will look them at the end of this learning event. And according to agenda, the next presentation should come from Basque Country to present the cycling strategy.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
I changed my place with Bacarne.
Okay.
And I have to apologize because Iker the technician of the Basque Country government of SYSTOUR that who was to explain us about the cycling strategy, has been to lead the meeting because he have a very important meeting in the Basque government about the local territorial planning, about the resources, student resources planning. So he apologizes and he has left the meeting. So I will try
Thank
to
you.
explain our cycling strategy. I think we have our stakeholders of the other counties in the region, so maybe they will help me. Okay, Iker wanted to start with a little video that I will share with you. But first of all, about this, I have to start with a little reflection. We are talking about sustainable charities, and sustainable charities is to join, to understand, to try to find ourselves in another culture. If we travel in a sustainable way, we try to know about the place we are visiting, in their personality, their heritage. So for start, one of the special things of our personality is that Basque people love to cycling. We have a very big culture, an important culture about the cycling, and who we are, it's what we share. So with this, I will try to, okay, just a moment, please. I will try to share the video. Okay. Okay, first one. As we can see, here in the Basque Country, there is a big afición. We are big sporters and we love to cycle. Okay, that's our point of start. We have two challenges: mobility all around or inside or into the Basque Country, from one country to others. And the second challenge is to put on value, on give use who we are to attract people. So we made some diagnosis and study about our cyclist profile, and we have two kinds of cyclists here, who are sporters that have a very beautiful and big and high quality bicycles and want to play sport, and the cyclotyrist that is who goes on weekend with friends in a slow way, just to enjoy the bicycle, but not in the sport into their mind. Okay. With these two profiles and different profiles, we started developing a strategy about the cyclotourism in the Basque Country. Please, next one. Okay. In the strategy, there are four main areas of work. First one, infrastructure. There are a lot of roads all over the Basque Country, but we have to be the special roads from the cyclists have to be connected with each other. In this sense, here with us is our college of Encarterri, Alicia, I've seen you, and they are managing all the infrastructures to the cyclist roads in the country. We have to work with the sector too. There are a lot of hotels and other kinds of places to stay that can give us a lot of services, especially from this kind of people. As you know, breakfast early in the morning, or lunch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and a lot of services related to the bicycle maintenance. Promotion. Yes, and the third site, and we have a very big plan in our strategy related to the promotion of this. The best one has been the Tour de Path last year in July from the Basque Country, and a community. We are working together on this. Okay. Okay. This is the map. Sorry, it's in Spanish. The map of all the people who is working, different companies that are working on the tourism cycle strategy, like the strategy. Travel agencies that are specialists of this. They have a lot of offer, especially from people who wants to have a experience and special experience related to the bike, the tour as a promotion, companies of the sectors, services companies, maintains, mechanical companies, associations or local cyclists that are working together to explain us the best places to go, and to create the routes, the local administration and Basque government too, the professionals of the cycling world from the Basque Country, influencers, especially press, specialized and sports events too. Okay, so our strategy is developed about routes, different routes, as you can see there at the above. We have a brochure with a lot of information. This brochure also is on our website, and we offered different routes related to the bike strategy. These routes are aligned online with the Basque Country route strategy that offers more or less the same, but you can use public transport or your own car to go. But the last main is to develop, to share, and to get the mobility of the tourist flux all over the territory. Not only from the cities and the coast, but also inside and other regions that are more mountainous. So offering the different kind of experiences, more difficult, easier for all kind of type of cycle tourists. Okay, this is the map with all the routes. You can see the main points that are recommended for the cycling. Okay. And this is the promotion that you can, there are with all the tracks. So you can choose your route. And after that, you have all the information as you were a professional. And I think this is all. Okay, no, not this all. Okay, this is the strategy and this is the map. Okay, we offer, as you can see there, we offer 8 big routes and small ones. For example, you can see the first one comes from Bilbao to Lekeitio in our county, and the second one starts in Lekeitio and goes to San Sebastian, as you can see, all around the Basque Country and crossing the center too. And we have the smallest one too that, as you can see, or in the center in a yellow color, the routes from Eibar. This small route is very mountainous and it's very loved by the bike fans here in the Basque Country. So we are trying to share with the visitors this one too. With with different kinds of difficult, but thinking about all the publics or the fans that use the bike to go from one place to other. And normally the local travel agencies have business with companies all over Europe, and they come here in groups of 20, 30 people, and sometimes by plane. They have their own bicycle, so they can rent here the bicycle, and they have a plan for 1 week cycling all the Basque Country. Some of our hotels are working with them, and it's supposed for us an opportunity to avoid the high season. People who come to cycling here to the Basque Country prefer spring or autumn to have the holidays. So it is helpful for us to avoid the high season and have opened our hotels more time during this year. These are the routes. As explained, they have with the QR code to have all the information. They are tracked. You have all the difficulty of them. And as you can see, they connected the different counties, regions with the cities in the Basque Country. So the flows can move from one place to another. These are the smallest one. Okay. Related to our identity, that I was saying, legendary mountain passes. This one, the sixth one, is here in our county, in Oiz, and that we share with Durangaldea, with our colleague Irene. And these are all the mountainous passes that were used historically to connect different counties and regions in the Basque Country, as the wine and fish route that I always explain in oral presentations. And in this way, we can connect our historical paths and use our historical paths for this sport activity and to impulse, to help to the mobility in the territory. And
This is
I
the
think
last
this
one.
is the finish. We are so sorry about but Iker has to go out, and the changes in the time for his meeting. So I hope that I have been helpful for you trying to explain our strategy. And short, and to resume this, as we started saying, who we are is what we share. So cycling is a very important activity. Sport is very important here in the Basque Country. You can see all the people, local people, going out at weekend. I always say that it's like the snails at raining. There are a lot at weekends. We try to put on value this with a strategy to attract people from other countries and other places to know what we share and what we are enjoying too. And I think this is important. And now with this strategy, we have a lot of services, and it's a way to improve the competitiveness of our companies, tourist companies too. We have here in our county some experiences with some hotels that are offering these activities, and they are improving with new services like bike rental, electrical bike rental for people like me that don't practice sport. And I think we have here a big opportunity to develop a strategy of flows mobility inside the territory, connecting different places in the Basque Country, and also to improve the competitiveness of our county with sport, natural activity, enjoying the landscape, enjoying our roads. So I think this is a win-win strategy for us. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Nikki. That went really well, and thank you for your input. We are 15 minutes behind schedule, but because we started late, but that's okay. We are very flexible towards the end. We have one more presentation before we take a 5-minute break in case you need to go to the bathroom. And the next presentation is from Finland. From our region, from Kaustinen Folk Arts Center, we have Director Matti Hakamäki to explain intangible cultural heritage, what it means and how that benefits tourism.
Can you see my
Thank you.
presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. So I will be talking about the sustainable tourism and especially intangible cultural heritage. I will be addressing sustainability from more maybe from the social and cultural perspective, not that much from the economical or ecological, but of course everything is very connected, systemically connected, as we know. So my background is I'm a director of Finnish Folk Music Institute. We are situated here near Kokkola, about 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers, so in middle of Finland. And our aim or our task is to safeguard the folk music traditions of Finland and in Finland. And we do it by documenting, recording, educating, research. We have a museum. Also, we have a folk music orchestra. And we have a lot of different projects that we implement. We are accredited to the UNESCO 2003 convention. So the Convention for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage. So we are in an advisory role to the convention, and we work quite a lot with the convention. And also the local tradition, Kaustinen fiddle playing, is inscribed to the UNESCO list, representative list of intangible cultural heritage. And Finnish Folk Music Institute, we work nationwide, so everywhere in Finland, but our offices are situated here in Kaustinen, which is the center for folk music in Finland. And also this inscription, of course, makes it very interesting for us, and on the other hand, connects us to the local community, and on the other hand, gives us expertise on the UNESCO matters and international cultural policy systems. So the local tradition, which is inscribed to the UNESCO list, 21, so just 3 years ago. It's about fiddle playing, but also other instruments, kantele, the national instrument of Finland, and other instruments are very important. Festivities, dance traditions, actually everything that goes around it. The fiddle is kind of regarded as a symbol for the folk music traditions and folk dance traditions. And also Kaustinen is kind of the symbol, the main area of the tradition, but it is very important, and actually the same tradition is in the whole region. So it is really a regional tradition. It runs in families and in villages, still from generation to generation, which is quite peculiar in the Western context. And then maybe the most important kind of item to make it possible to go from generation to generation nowadays is the Kaustinen Folk Music Festival. So there's more than 50,000 people coming every summer for 1 week, and it's the biggest folk music festival in the Nordic countries. So it's very important for the whole folk music tradition of Finland, but also very important for the local heritage. A few words about the convention. So 2003 convention, intangible cultural heritage, sister conventions, the World Heritage 72, and then 2005 about the cultural diversity. In these 2003 conventions, almost all the countries have ratified it, 183. That's the fastest pace of all the conventions, I think, in the UNESCO. The objectives, safeguarding heritage, living heritage, respect, awareness and mutual appreciation, international cooperation and assistance. In the convention, there are 3 different lists, and in total 730 inscribed elements already. What is intangible cultural heritage? You can explain it by the 5 domains of the convention: oral traditions, performing arts, social practices, festive events, practices concerning nature, craftsmanship. So actually everything, all the know-how that's related into heritage practices in the world. It can be dances, it can be crafts, it can be herding practices, anything actually there is in the cultural domain of the world. But on the other hand, ICH can be explained also through the more ideological or practical way. So in the intangible cultural heritage definition, you always have to use the community approach. So the value of heritage is not given by the experts or the national authorities or the academic expertise, but actually by the practitioners and the communities. So if the communities value the heritage, then it's valuable in UNESCO's mind also.
Matti,
So,
just to tell you, we see the first slide
oh,
still,
really?
so
Okay.
if you want to go forward.
Can you see it now?
Now I have Finnish Folk Music Institute.
And does it change?
Supports Finnish folk music and folk dance communities. So now it changes. I don't know if you have to do it manually. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I won't put the presentation mode then. So here are the pictures about the Kaustinen festival and Kaustinen fiddle playing tradition. And I was explaining about the convention and the domains of the convention. And then I was here with the kind of the principles of the convention. So always it's about community approach, and it's about living heritage. It's not something that is there and we don't want it to change. So the idea of change is always inherent with ICH. It's based on mutual respect and cultural diversity. So no other heritage is more valuable than the other. Like in a forest, we need biological diversity. In the same way, we need in the world cultural diversity. It's based on human rights. It's based on sustainable development. And then there is an idea of active safeguarding. So it's not just something that we identify that's there, but we really want to promote it to go on to the next generations. So these are the definitions of intangible cultural heritage, and they are somewhat different than the previous idea of heritage. So these are kind of revolutionary things that are slowly coming to the cultural policy of the world. But still, you can see a lot of contradictions in the different ways of understanding the cultural heritage policies. I will just say a few words about the web dossier that was made in the ICH NGO forum. I said in the beginning that our institute, we are accredited to the UNESCO 2003 convention. And so we are in an advisory role to the convention. And there are 270 organizations altogether that are accredited to the convention. And then there is a umbrella organization which is called ICH NGO Forum for all the accredited NGOs. I'm also in the board of that umbrella organization, and I'm the secretary of that organization. And in that ICH NGO Forum organization, we have there is a working group for research which has made just recently a web dossier on intangible cultural heritage and sustainable tourism. So you can go check it out, but I will briefly just go through the ideas that's included in the web dossier, because I think it's really handy to, and maybe something useful that you can also use in the SYSTOUR project practicalities. Designed to help you explore benefits and challenges when intangible cultural heritage and tourism meet. Why? So these are from the web dossier, kind of the try to make a resume out of the content. Why intangible cultural heritage is attractive to tourism. The convention, 2003 convention, has been going on only about 20 years. So it depends, it varies a lot from country to country. In some countries, it's not very known yet, but in other countries, it is really the kind of the principal convention and the principal concept of heritage and culture. So in many places, many countries, it's also, when you think about heritage cultural tourism, it's the key concept in those activities. But it's really coming, and I think in the future it will be more and more important. So I think it's very important for everybody to kind of try to understand the different concepts and ideas behind it. So why is ICH attractive? Shift in heritage perception. So this is kind of a new thing coming. It goes very well in line with the experimental tourism trend, and also customization. So tourists are moving away from standardized tours and more personalized experiences. So this goes very much in line with that thinking. Local participation, it's always the key part of intangible cultural heritage. And then exploring everyday culture, which is also a very basic concept of intangible cultural heritage. So in my view, kind of the new areas of tourism that are getting more and more popular are very much in line with the concept of intangible cultural heritage and what it underlines, what it thinks is important. And I think this all goes very well to the sustainability framework, especially when you think about cultural, social sustainability. Everything is very well thought in the basic concepts, because underneath intangible cultural heritage, it is kind of the same thing as cultural sustainability. It's based on the very same root. How tourism impacts ICH safeguarding. So there are positive and negative. It's very important to understand these, and they can be simultaneous. Commercialization, it's quite obvious. Economic benefits, it can also give something, but then you can do the over commercialization, which is not good for the local communities. Risk of cultural change. So what is performed primarily for tourists? Maybe the local communities don't feel very well with it after a while, and they don't engage to the traditions if they kind of don't feel them anymore. Unequal distribution of benefits, transformation of traditions, cultural shifts, and potential reinvestment. These are the kind of the key concepts when you think about the impact, both positive and negatives. Endangering ICH, kind of the same approach. but a little bit more focused. Degradation of traditions, misappropriation, transformation of practices so that the communities don't identify to them anymore. Disruption of cultural cycles, especially from the seasonal activity. You can understand it quite easily. Tourism as monocrop, so it's always kind of the idea of cultural diversity, cultural diversity. You can understand that tourism can easily make a change in that way also. Pandemic impact during the COVID, it was easily understood that if the communities are dependent on one touristical aspect, it can be very destructive to the local communities. And then one more, how can tourism enhance? It can really give employment opportunities, alleviate poverty. It can foster development, give meaning to the communities, reduce migrations from the rural areas especially, economic benefits, and also we can kind of make the importance of cultural diversity visible through ICH and tourism. Also ecological responsible use of resources, contributing to community well-being, giving more meaning to the local communities, pride, reinforce heritage, transmission of heritage, ICH specific events like festivals can raise awareness, cultural appreciation, understanding. Kind of the overall idea is that when there is economic impact through tourism, if it's made from the community approach and it's equal, it's kind of there is the ICH approach included, then it's possible to really engage and empower the local community so that their kind of well-being is enhanced at the same time as the tourism is developed. It's not a very easy task to do, but this is the idea also in the 2003 convention that it's possible, and it's kind of the aim also of the convention. Then a few topics from Kaustinen where we have been kind of starting to work with tourism. We have this big festival every year, but then the other touristical activities, they are not very developed, so to say. But we have a long experience working with sustainability and with community approach and so on. So this is also an interesting laboratory for ICH and tourism. Some ideas that we have locally felt important. It's important to find the logic for earning so that the entrepreneurs can also commit their businesses to the safeguarding. So it's important that it's okay to earn money through the heritage. No no compromising the quality. The tourist, we must think the tourist as a part of the safeguarding process. So it's not just somebody who comes and visits and sees how things are done, but really that when the tourists go home, they feel that they have participated in the safeguarding process. And this is very essential kind of a finding. Long-term engagement, experience-based, storytelling at the center, participatory tourism. Also, at the same time, we need digital content, and then recognizing the dangers, which we actually went through in the previous slide. So this was like a sneak peek to this topic, ICH and tourism, sustainability, and then the local examples from Kaustinen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matti. Can we share your presentation with the participants after the event?
Of course, of course.
Yes.
I will send it to you.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, we have 1 more hour left with 3 presentations coming up. First, from Visit Finland, we have a free program to help entrepreneurs to set certificate and to do sustainable things. Then we have from Poland, good practices on tourist bus and digital platform. And then we have 1 more project from Politecnico di Torino. I want to ask you now, before we move on to the last presentations, do you want to have a 5-minute break? So maybe give me thumbs up from the reactions or type in the chat. Do you want to get up for 5 minutes or do we continue for the last 3 presentations? What do you want to do? We take 5-minute break. So we are back at 12:35. Please don't close your Teams, leave your Teams open so that it's easier to come back in. We will continue in 5 minutes, so you can take a small break. For the speakers coming up, if you want to stay and see that your presentations are working, you can do that during the break. But we are back in 5 minutes. Okay, I think we can continue with the next presentation. Yes?
All right.
Go ahead.
Shall I start or do you want to say anything else?
I think you can start.
All right. My topic is, as Jana already told it about, is this free sustainability program, STF, Sustainable Travel Finland, provided by Visit Finland. And a couple of words about me. I have been running a small consultant company since 2020, and the core competence key services lie on helping travel industry companies in sustainability issues, getting certified and getting this STF label. And I act as well as a part of Visit Finland Trainer Academy, and this STF program is really big part of my daily work. And this is shortly, this STF it's a certification awarded by Visit Finland. It requires some extra work. It's not only a traditional certification certification process, but rather there are some more activities so that the companies can get this STF label. And we're going to have a look at the whole process, what is required from the travel companies to get this STF label. The whole story behind this STF program, I think it must have been something like 2018, and Visit Finland was thinking about strategies, how to play a bigger role in the competitive situation in tourism, and how to get the customers or the people coming to Finland. And the decision was that we have to pay attention on sustainability issues, and the program, this Sustainable Travel Finland, or the pilot version of it, was launched in 2019, and it was officially then launched, the whole program, for all companies after this pilot phase in 2020, so that the companies could start this STF path towards the STF label, and get competitive advantage on the market. And the situation now, this is actually today's figures, so that companies with STF label in whole country, there are a little bit more than 450 companies awarded with that label, and the leading area of in Finland is Lapland with 134 STF labels, and other regions with the figures as you can see in the presentation. And this whole program is suitable for destinations as well, basically meaning that when 51% of the companies in each destination have reached this STF label. The destination or the DMO has the ability to apply for the destination STF label. And the current situation is that there are in Finland 70 DMOs and 6 out of 70 have reached this STF destination label. This is basically what is the whole process in this STF Sustainable Travel Finland program, the whole work required before you can get awarded by this STF label. Basically, it starts with documenting all of your sustainability related work and issues you've got in your company, or anything that has to do something with that, and even it applies for your cooperative partners or subcontractors or similar. And the most important documents, or actually the documents needed for the whole application process, are in the first phase or in the first box on the left hand side, and then on the middle there is this certification that is required always in order to get the STF label. And in the third box is the, let's say, the content of this presentation, what is required in the whole process in order to get awarded by the STF label. And here I would like to point out that this box number 2, the certification, refers to, let's say, like traditional tourism travel related certifications like Green Key, Green Activities, Good Travel Seal, Biosphere, Travel Light, anything like that. So as you can see that this process requires a lot more work than the traditional certification process. In this STF path, there are seven steps, and they are really clearly defined. And here in the next, I'm going to tell you briefly what is required in each step. First of all, you should be, or your company should be, committed to the process, so that you will really pay attention in every activities, in every actions that you in your business, so that you are committed in sustainable development. It must be officially documented, and you should actually support the national principles, so that which have been defined by Visit Finland. They are pretty general, but still I think they are in all over the world pretty the same. And of course, some people must be dedicated to lead the project or lead the development work in the company, and so they must be named. And it is, of course, as in every project, really important that the commitment of the top management or the owner is in place. So this is basically the step 1. Step 2 is, of course, to learn something more about sustainability, and there is, as we all know, a lot of good material, good databases, how to get more, or how to expand knowledge in Finland related to this STF path, STF program. There are many trainings held in destinations, in areas. To companies, most of them are conducted by this Visit Finland Academy, and they have been becoming more and more popular the last years. Even though the program was launched 2020, it has been really, the companies have actually now the past couple of years so really active and eager to get more information regarding this program and how to get awarded by the STF label. Then there is this self-assessment. It is maybe one of the let's say most important and most the interesting parts of the process. So that there are in 10 categories altogether, something like 130 questions regarding sustainability, and the companies, they make this self-assessment, and it helps them in creating or providing some material documentation in the whole process. It's tightly together with the whole process. And the next one is this certification step 3, and as it was there in 3 boxes, the middle one, this is only 1 step out of 7 to achieve this STF label, and it is, of course, you must have this one. It is, but the good thing is, of course, because the companies are a little bit different, so that you can always can choose. I think the amount of certificates you can choose from. It's something like 30 or 40. So you are not tightly together with some single one, so that it gives you some free hands to choose the suitable one for your business operations. I think this should be 5. I mean, green key, and then the green activities, then biosphere, eco compass, a Finnish one, and then this good travel seal. They cover something like 95% of all Finnish companies who have achieved this STF label. So these basically green key, biosphere, and good travel seal, they cover almost all. I mean, all 3 dimensions of this sustainability, whereas eco compass pays attention more on ecological issues. Step number 4 is this sustainability communication, basically meaning that even though you do good things in sustainability issues, if you don't tell it to anybody, the impacts of your work might become not so good. So this is a requirement that the requirements get bigger and bigger every year for this sustainable communication. You have to select multiple channels, you have to select multiple target groups and ways of communicating your sustainability issues so that you tell the truth and you really tell the important things, and as the whole program is controlled by Visit Finland, it is important that there is no greenwashing and no green hushing. It is really good, well written in the rules what to do and what not to do, and that's something that's going to develop in the future really much as well. Step number 5 is, of course, there is one of the key issues, I think, in sustainability is this carbon footprint, is so that it will play a bigger and bigger role in the future. At the moment, the scope 1 and scope 2 are required in this carbon footprint calculation, but in the future, the scope 3 will be included somehow. We don't know yet how it's going to be included, but anyway, it will be part of that. And then in every year's renewal, you must fill so-called national indicators, and basically meaning that you give like some consumption figures, how much energy you have consumed, or water, some gasoline or stuff like that. And if you have accommodation, you should put the amount of overnights or stays you have had. So this serves statistics and Visit Finland, so that where they're going to put their efforts in developing the whole tourism in Finland from the government side. Step number 6 is that there are some, as in the box number 1 earlier in this presentation, it was written, there is some documentation you should include in your STF application process, and this 3-year development plan is one of the most crucial part of this of these documents. On top of that, you should have a to-do list based on this development plan, basically meaning an action plan in all of these three categories: ecological, sociocultural, and economic perspective. And in every year, you should have something like 10 to 15 actions that you complete, and it will be strictly followed by Visit Finland every year as the renewal of the STF label is in place, if the things have been done according to the plan or not. And of course, there must be a sustainable sustainability communication plan and the commitment documentation, as already talked a little bit earlier. Step number 7 is to make an official agreement with Visit Finland so that it will be official. There is also a good material for how to use this, all logos, labels, texts, stuff like that, and guidance how to benefit as much as possible from the label. And it seems now in these days that this is going to be for the travel companies like a driver's license for normal people, so that within a couple of years, if you don't have this STF label, you're going to be out of the market when it comes to common marketing or common activities or anything that has something to do with international sales or international marketing or getting people to coming to destinations. And I think this is good sign regardless of the point of view, but this is something that has happened the past years, and I'm pretty happy to see that. And that was short, really briefly, the whole thing. Normally it takes like regarding, if you do it by yourself, it takes some months to complete the whole process. If you use some external partners, it might take a couple of weeks, but there is, of course, this is free of charge, and the only costs coming from the process come from the certification process. So small companies, big companies, bigger companies, this is suitable for anybody, and no matter if you have accommodation or activities, restaurants, something other, but this is suitable for any type of business in travel industry. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Juha. Thank you so much. One of the reasons we wanted to give this presentation to you is in the SYSTOUR project. This is what we are doing in our region. So in our region right now, we have one STF label. And with the help of Juho, he's been working with our stakeholders this autumn, and we are looking maybe between 2 to 4 more labels at the end of this year. And the stakeholders are doing all the work, they are paying the certificates, but there is a really, really good interest in doing this work in our region, and we're really happy for that. Okay, then we move straight to Poland. We have Anna to give us some good ideas and good practices from Poland.
Yes, hello. I will try to put the presentation I tried to do during the break, but I don't know if I managed. If not, I will ask Jana to help me. Let's see if I do it well. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so I will tell you something about digital tourism and tourism bus in Świętokrzyskie Województwo. My name is Ania Szczawulska, and I have been working in regional tourism organization for almost 20 years. This organization was invited by the Marshal's Office of the Świętokrzyskie Województwo to participate in this SYSTOUR project as one of the stakeholders. And I will tell you in a few words, of course, what Regional Tourism Organization does, but I will focus only on our activities in the area of sustainable development, mobility, and digitalization in tourism. Who are we? We operate in a three-stage Polish tourism organization, regional tourism organization, and local tourism organization system. In addition to our main office, which is the regional tourism organization, we have also a subordinate regional tourism information center, which is located in Kielce. And this is the place where every tourist came and learn everything about tourism in a region from the theoretical and the practical side. You can get there a lot of publications, for example, maps, and talk to my colleagues who know everything about our region. Our mission and goals, of course, making a long story short, is the tourist promotion of the Świętokrzyskie region. We have over 200 members, and we act on their behalf and in their interest. We have regional tourism organization members are mainly regional governments and the broadly understood tourism industry, like hotels, restaurants, and some tourist attractions. In our statutory activities, we rely on several most important promotional tools, including tourism information and internet as one thing, television, ambient, which consists fairs and events, and also tourist bus, study tours, publications, PR and advertising, and also product development. But focusing on our topic today, digitalization. Regional Tourism Organization runs the main tourist portal of the region, where you can find the most important information from the tourist point of view. In our official tourist website, you can see, for example, active sightseeing, hiking and bicycle trails, business offers, health and spa, and also accommodation and regional cuisine. Additionally, we manage the region's profiles in social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And we have a large numbers of fans. For example, on Facebook, we have 115,000 likes. On Instagram, we have 12,000 likes. And on TikTok, we have 90,000 likes. We run these profiles through various thematical campaigns, such as Świętokrzyskie for Families, Active Świętokrzyskie, Fall in Love with Świętokrzyskie, postcards from Świętokrzyskie, and we also have an event calendar on this website. Regional Tourism Organization also ran the first application in the region, which you can have on your phone, and it includes 17 tourist trips in Polish version and 10 tourist trips in English version. The entire tourist information system is divided into digital and analog version, and the analog version consists of one regional tourism information center, which is situated in Kielce, one promotional office at the bus station, 11 centers and 24 points information system throughout the whole region, and 3 temporary points which are open only in the summer season. The digital version in the main tourist portal of the region is the main tourist portal of the region and the local tourist portals. And we as a regional tourism organization fill these portals with content marketing. Going to mobility, for 5 years, we have been running the free tourist bus during the holiday, which connects the capital of the region, city of Kielce, with the largest tourist attraction in the region, the Holy Cross. And this bus was funding from the Marshal's office and has 2 courses a day on Saturdays and Sundays from July until the end of the September. And in addition, in this bus, there is a tourist guide who tells about passing attractions during the ride and a short free guided tour at the Holy Cross. The mobility is connected with the third pillar that we are talking about today, sustainable development. And thanks to launch this bus in the peak tourist season in the region, tourists traveling around this Świętokrzyskie region do not use their own cars, but only use this one bus, which is of course better for the environment. On the way to Holy Cross, the bus stops on 14 stops in very tourist places in the region, so tourists can get not only to the Holy Cross, but also to many other tourist attractions along the way. Launching this bus was the response to tourist requests and comments, because this was a kind of problem for the region, that not motorized tourists had a big problem to get to the Holy Cross, the biggest attraction in the region. And that is why we as a regional tourism organization, but in close cooperation with the Marshal's office, launched the free bus in 2020, and it has proven so successful that it is used every year till now. And you can see the statistics from this year. It was 104 courses, 4,704 passengers, and 2,207 reservations. And this is all I wanted to tell you briefly. I hope in a very understandable way. I hope after this short presentation, you know more or less what the Regional Tourism Organization does. So thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, I will try to answer them after whole presentations. Thanks.
Thank you, Anna. I have one question for you. I will save that to the end. Yeah. Thank you for a very good presentation. And then we have one more presentation from Politecnico di Torino. They have another project, branding for resilience. And after this presentation, if you have any questions, you can ask them. You can type them in the chat already. I don't know if Asia will be presenting or.
No, I'm presenting. Okay. I'm Alice, and thank you for the invitation, Jana. And I shared the screen. Hopefully it works. Do you see it? Can you see it? Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm from Politecnico di Torino, and I will present an experience that is part of the Branding for Resilience project. I am presenting this project, but of course I just one of the whole research unit of Politecnico di Torino Department of Architecture and Design that is part of the national project. But I will explain everything in the subsequent slide. The Branding for Resilience project is a project of national interest entitled Branding for Resilience Tourist Infrastructure as a Tool to Enhance Small Villages by Drawing Resilient Communities and New Open Habitats. Which aim to investigate the potential of branding in the designing the resilient development of territories and communities, fragile and inner areas communities, and also the aim is to use minimal tourist infrastructure as a suitable and sustainable tool to enhance inner areas. The whole project was presented last year in some conferences, but we also have online website for all the information that you want to deep in. Today, I will present the result of the first and the second phases. The first phase was called the exploration phase, and the second one take the results of the exploration phase and develop a co-design project, a co-design idea. The project finished this year with the co-visioning process phase and we are still working on the final output, that is the roadmap. But today I will present the second phase, the workshop and the co-design phase. As I said, the project was conducted not just by me, of course, or just by Politecnico di Torino, but in 4 different territories in Italy. The responsible of our research unit is Professor Diana Rolando, that is also part of SYSTOUR project as me, and also as Giorgia Malavasi. And the other 4 universities that was involved in the project are the University of Studi di Trento with the Professor Sara Favargiotti, the Università degli Studi di Palermo, always the Department of Architecture with Professor Barbara Lino, and the most important, because she is the scientific coordinator of the research program, the World Research Program, Professor Maddalena Ferretti from the University Politecnica delle Marche. Our research team was formed by a multidisciplinary group. Was very interesting working with different disciplines that are sectors as architecture technology, construction technique, industrial design, real estate appraisal, that is my scientific sector, and also topography and cartography. Our territory, each research unit has different inner areas and territory used as case study for the application of the process. And our territory was an inner area that became inner area in the second strategy, national strategy for inner areas cycle. Is called Alta Valsesia and is located in the north part of Italy in the Alps. Is an alpine area that has different characteristics. It's important to mention that the national strategies for inner areas, to which we are indirectly connected with our Branding for Resilience project, define inner areas, all territories that are remote areas far from the big cities, offering the big essential and public services like education, health, and mobility. These areas generally has low accessibility and also has a problem with the population and the grade. The Alta Valsesia is composed by 70 municipalities, very little, 3 valleys, Alta Valsesia, Val Sermenza, and Val Mastallone, and a very low population density, about 7 inhabitants per square meter. The process for the development of the exploration co-design steps is quite complicated, but it's has 3 main pillars. The first pillar is the database analysis. We, in particular, in the exploration phase, we base all our analysis on data, so qualitative and quantitative analysis. The second pillar is the dialogue with the local stakeholder and local actors that gives us feedback and also help us to consider different aspects to get a sustainable and suitable solution. And the third ingredient or pillar is the on-site visit. So it's very important to visit in person territories on which was important for us to visit in person the territory in which we are analyzing. Sorry. So for the first phase, the exploration, we focus on the whole area, 3 valleys and 70 municipalities, and we start with the data processing and mapping. In particular, we built and we use a geographical information system that from a data collection arrive to a real territorial analysis. So by the building, through the use of and the construction of different dimension, 26 sub-dimension and about 150 indicators. By the connection of these different indicators, we produce 87 maps that are in part thematics and in part are crossing between different dimensions. The 4 dimensions are important, so I cite them. The first one is infrastructure, landscape and ecosystem. The second is about cultural and built heritage and settlement dynamics. The third is economies and values, and the fourth analyze networks and services, communities and governance models. During the first year, we also proceed in parallel with the data processing and mapping with dialogue with public bodies. For example, the Mountain Union of Valsesia, that is a very important stakeholder for our project, and also with the different interviews with mayors of the different municipalities. In particular, after the first year, that was 2020, so after the pandemic, we start also to do tour and meetings directly in the site. There are, in particular, the most important part was also the virtual meetings with all the majors, because to collect data that are not already digitalized, we need to interview directly majors about heritage and environment. So what's really useful in that period to be able to connect with them and to be able to conduct direct surveys from them, their opinion. In particular, in the virtual meeting, participant 60% of the measures that we conduct, and they were interviews on a form that is about the built and landscape heritage. In particular, we want to analyze built and landscape heritage that is publicly or privately owned. We want to analyze and ask them an opinion, a comment on heritage that has a low condition of conservation and maybe high potentialities. We analyze all the heritage that is important for the municipalities and majors, but also even if it not has a real quality or interest from an architectural point of view, but maybe with a high value for the community, and also heritage that have assumed particular connotation, positive or negative, for the community, the local communities of each municipality. The final steps of the first year was collection of feedback and also a visit of professional photographer that collect for us some pictures that are very interesting to be seen from us, but also from the local stakeholder and actors, because they give a totally different point of view of their villages. So they found also some inspiration or a point of view that is external, but underline the beauty and the heritage of their landscape and architectural stock. The second year is the co-design year. We collect all the results of the first year, and we define a pilot case for the 2 valleys on 3, involving 6 municipalities, not all the municipalities. We define this pilot case on the basis of ongoing processes in the mountain union valleys, but also on the basis of the analysis. These 2 valleys, called lateral valleys, are the one that has showed more problems, that are in the inner area the most fragile. So we want to concentrate in these 2 valleys with 6 municipalities, and in particular we want to connect to an ongoing process that is called Di Valle in Valle. This project was a financed project which led to the creation of a series of itineraries that unite the mountain pasture. The particularity of this valley is that are all closed valley, but just for a car mobility. By foot, in fact, there are ancient paths and different mountain itineraries that can connect the valleys, one valley with another. The main objective of this project was to join different territories to enhance the mountain environment, to enhance also the traditional alpine architecture, small architecture diffuse on these paths, increasing and fostering slow mobility, and of course to create opportunities for population and also tourism. On this basis, so data collection and also ongoing project, we define 3 teams that are the basis for the development of the co-design project. The first team, the main one, is Vibre. We want to focus on the vibrancy, territorial vibrancy of this territory. So the title and the main theme of this co-design process is the enhancement to foster, to design enhancement strategies to make resilient village vibrant in Alta Valsesia. The importance is given to the counteracting of the demographic contraction of these areas, the aging of the population, and the abandonment of the built heritage. We focus on this capability of the communities to react to this condition, and also trying to find new activities and function that can reactivate and enhance the vibrancy of each territory. The challenge is how to enhance, how to re-give to these territories and this municipality the territorial vibrancy. As input information for the co-design project, we give some points, attention points in the territory that are very important. Of course, we ask to the co-designer to focus on the accessibility in mountain area, to focus on job opportunities and to enhance the sport and cultural activities and offers. We also underline the importance of the Sesia River, that is already a very important infrastructure, blue infrastructure of the territory. And also we ask to the co-designer to promote energy efficiency, to enhance or requalify the accommodation offer, and also to focus on a concept of tourism that could be transformative. From the main topic, we focus on three main themes that are Bugesi, that means moving, walking, arriving. Allegro, that means having fun, connecting and sharing, and stopping. Farmesi, that means stopping, sleeping, and stay. These three themes, of course, connect three different aspects, very important, that I mentioned before. That is, for the first one, the accessibility and the different paths that are already present in the territory, high and low mobility. The second, focus on a sector of the population that is the young population, because there is a need of attraction of young people in these areas. And the third focus, of course, on the abandoned heritage as nodes of the net of itineraries and paths in this territory. So we arrive at the end of the second year to the co-design workshop. All these information are collected and shared with the participant to the co-design workshop. The first day was conference, of course, for the presentation of the before project, and also for the presentation of each local stakeholder and researcher that take part to this co-design workshop. The second day was a site visit, because we are very convinced that it's important to see territories, to live in the territories, to understand them, and then to can analyze them and design also solution and ideas and strategies. And the third day was in March 2022, the co-design workshop working together. Local actors, citizens, students, and researcher works together on these three themes to design some possible solution and some possible strategy. In the final day, the fourth day, each result, all the results of the three tables were presented to the community. And of course, we also listen and receive some feedback from the local actor and citizens. The three ideas are this one. For the Bugesi team, was developed an idea of a collaborative cross-valley intermodality strategy to discover the internal territory. The focus was to connection also through an app application, a digital application, the connection between the speed mobility and the low one, to connect different nodes or areas or elements of the territory that are important for sportsmen, but also for tourists. We try to select and diversify users and also diversify experience. The second result on the Having Fun team, the Allegro team, was a place-based initiative for the implementation of innovative policies, social inclusion practices, and activities for young people. The target in this case is specific, was defined as tourist resident between 18 and 35 years old, and was called Wow House and UP Alpe. Wow House was a flexible space to host shop, workshops, and different activities for tourists. And UP Alpe was a place for meeting and entertainment events and sports hub. So in this case, there is the connection between different places in Lateral Valley, but also the total refurbishment of some building. And the last result was for the Farmesi topic, so the stopping, the contemplation and sleeping activities. Also, in this case, the target are different and are differentiated not only from the difficulty of some trekking path, but also in between the altitude of the mountain. In this case, there are the idea is to develop new forms of accommodation that could be places with where enjoy experiences in different altitude of the mountain, and also they developed also a shared and artistic space. The final, just a connection with the the third year that was ended this year with the development of the roadmap. As a result, all the results of the exploration and co-design phases are collected and used for the construction of a value criticalities matrix. Then we developed a territorial vision draft that was used as a basis for a dialogue with stakeholders and experts that give us feedback to get the final territorial vision, and then to design and construct the branding for resilience roadmap that will be the final result of the project. With this, I finished. The responsible of our research unit is Diana Rolando. Here there are our contacts, and we are the small team that is in charge with the co-visioning phase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alice. There was a question. Can we share your presentation to the participants after the event?
Yes, yes. No
Okay.
problem. I can send you because he didn't send you before, but I try to, stop the condivision, and yes, I will send you the presentation.
Thank you. If you have any questions, you can type them now in the chat. There was one question, where will the recording be? So I want to ask Asia and Federica how we will send the materials and the recording.
Yeah, the recording will be available in the chat once everything will be finished. So I guess if you have Teams application, web application, and you can check it out on the chat. If not, we have the recording on our cloud, so OneDrive cloud, and we will check how it works with Eventbrite. So probably we will have all your emails, and so we can share with you the materials. But we will check it out together.
Okay, thank you so much. I was listening to Anna's presentation from Poland, and I wanted to ask you, because we have a very similar situation here. We have a website, so lots of people look information online, but then we also have these traditional tourist centers. So I wanted to ask your opinion on how do you feel? Do we still need the actual physical tourist centers?
DJ.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, we have this digital and analog system since, I think, 2010. And I think that still we need the analog version, because in the regional tourism center in Kielce, in the city of Kielce, we have a lot of tourists who ask my colleagues about some things from region, how to get somewhere. They ask about some publication. They need the publication in paper. So I think this is very important to have this analog system also. And in the region, as you maybe noticed in my presentation, we have 24 points throughout the whole region, and these points are situated near the biggest attraction in the region, and also have a lot tourists in these points and centers. So I think that this analog version is still needed.
Thank you so much. Can we also share your presentation?
Yes, of course.
Great, thank you. Do you have any other questions or something you want to ask? Either to microphone or in the chat. If not, we will get in touch with you via email to share with you the presentations and links to the recording. And from my behalf, thank you so much for all of you being part in here today.
Yes, thank you so much to everyone, the attendees and also the speakers for this morning. We are sending the link to SYSTOUR project. So for those of you which are not connected with SYSTOUR project, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and follow us with our website. And so we will keep you updated with good practices, learning events, and of course, all the materials that come up from this first learning event. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day.